Star Wars: The Rise of a Decent slash Different Movie. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker was directed by J.J. Abrams and stars Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, and Oscar Isaac. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker follows Rey, Finn, and Poe as they finish their journey across this long and treacherous trilogy. Also finishing off the past two trilogies, all of Luke and Anakin and all of those stories, all should be finished in this movie, which is where everything's been leading up to. They all go on one last journey to try to stop the First Order and Kylo Ren. And it follows their trying to finish what everyone started. And yeah, it's hard to explain without spoilers. I'll start with the pros of what I liked. The CGI was pretty good. I thought the cinematography was pretty good too. There was some really pretty shots here and there. And nothing really looked bad. Especially with those, there's a planet with, it's pretty dark, there's lightning everywhere, and there was some really pretty shots on that planet. Same thing with, if you've seen the main poster where Rey and Kylo are fighting, that water planet has some, well, not water planet, but that whole fight scene was pretty cool too. Acting was generally decent. I didn't see too many issues there. Nobody really stood out as great. Nobody really stood out as bad either. Just good. Fine. Babu Frick is a pretty good plus, which I'm not going to explain unless if you watch the movie, you'll know what I mean. I want to point out the ending. It was decent. I think it could have been better, but it was decent slash satisfying enough to not be considered bad, which is good considering the issue of the last movie being very divisive and this whole trilogy being a mess, sorta. So I will not complain too much about the ending, but I don't think it was the greatest. It wasn't like Avengers Endgame level ending, but still good. It's hard. It's very hard to explain this movie. Leading into cons, I feel like the first half of the movie is extremely rushed. It feels like it's trying to ignore The Last Jedi, and the first half of this movie is what The Last Jedi should have been, which is very weird when you're going into a movie that happens after The Last Jedi. They're like trying to hit plot points slash make things up and put things in place, which should have been done in The Last Jedi, which is really awkward as this is supposed to be a different movie. So the first half of the movie feels extremely rushed because they're going at like breakneck speed, trying to catch you up and trying to bring everything to speed, which it doesn't really do and for a while, which is very, I didn't like it. I can understand what they're doing. I didn't think the rushed scenes were bad per se, but it was very noticeable that it was going way too fast in order to try to catch up. And the whole story itself kind of feels like it's changing things here and there, as if it's ignoring The Last Jedi. Like Rian Johnson made a decision here about something, and now you have over here where it's suddenly different because now you're in this new movie where it's ignoring this one. The new thing takes precedence over this thing, so it's just like there's now conflicting things sort of, which still technically makes sense with each other, but it also feels like it's trying to ignore the last thing. It's really awkward. There's some other decisions in the movie that I didn't think were that good. I won't go into that too much. It's just decisions here and there, like character-based ones, like what they are doing was just weird to me. I didn't like some of it. I did like most of it. I enjoyed myself pretty well with this movie, so that wasn't the issue. It's just some of the character decisions. Meh. Overall, I feel like the movie was decent. I don't think it was as terrible as some people are saying, but I don't think it's like the best thing ever. Like it just saved Star Wars. I don't think that. I think Star Wars needs to really figure out what the hell it wants to do before. So, for example, this trilogy would have been fine if they figured out what they wanted to do across all three before doing the movies, and not taking it a movie at a time, which it worked for The Dark Knight and some other trilogies, but whenever you're trying to wrap up a 6-movie story already, you should probably, it looks like there wasn't much planning involved with this beforehand. Well, now there is, but whenever you're trying to do that, I'd suggest trying to figure that out way ahead of time rather than trying to pick up the pieces after one of the movies fails or something. Especially when you have this much money and this much backing and support, and you're able to do these things. Hopefully they fix their shit by the next time the next Star Wars movies comes out, because obviously they're not going to stop. They're going to make more. Sure, this was the last of the Skywalker trilogy, but there's obviously going to be more. So hopefully they either steer away from trilogies, which is what I think I'm hearing, or they figure out how to do them again, and based on different characters now rather than just the Skywalker whole thing, which is what they're going to do, obviously, because this is the end of the Skywalker stuff. But I guess we'll see. I give this movie an 8 out of 12 eggs, and that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.